these are the things, right? These moments, these crossroads where people get scared and then they stay where they are.
Yep.
And then another 10 years goes by and then they end up regretting it. Like we could so easily do that because like you didn't sleep well last night. And last night I actually had a point too where I woke up and I was like, holy shit. Like,
And we on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Everybody Love Everybody with Katy and Jamey. We got an awesome episode for you guys today. We just got back from Vernon. We were at my best friend Derek's and Callie's wedding, and I got to be best man, and it was fucking just an unbelievable experience. It was my first time like being in a wedding party, getting to be a best man, and really just getting to spend that moment with my best bud. It was pretty special.
and I was really surprised because you told me you'd only been to a couple weddings in your life, and I've been to so many because I have such a big family. So I just think it's so bizarre to me, but so it's like a big, I don't know, event for you.
Yeah, it was a big event.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this kind of episode tonight, we're going to talk about a little bit about co-parenting, what it's like being a stepmom or a step-parent, and Katy and I wanted to talk about this. Like we had talked about doing a podcast on this subject before. And also my friend Trevor Anderson, shout out to you, Trevor, had asked us to touch on this as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you guys, we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your comments. If you guys have subjects that you want us to talk about that you think's relatable, like most of the shit that we're trying to talk about in our life is relatable to most
well, we
other people's.
want ideas too, right? Like, I mean, it's just the two of us talking, and it helps us get some like inspiration on things to share about. Like, there's things that we could be constantly talking about, but it just seems like mundane. And then when someone else talks about it, you're like, oh my God, me too. And then it just gets us rolling. So we really appreciate the suggestions for sure.
And if you're not fucking aware yet, Sundays. We do Sundays, our podcast on Sundays. So for all our YouTube subscribers and everybody, they're always going to be uploaded on Sundays. So anyways, we just got back from Vernon. We were there for a week. We had my oldest daughter, Wesley. So this is kind of where it comes in.
She's 4.
Yeah, this is kind of where it comes into play that I have a 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. And so Katy is a stepmother to her. So like how do we even start this off? Like what was your thoughts? I guess let's get into right when we first got into a relationship, thinking about me having, cause Wesley was like almost 2, I guess at that time, or she was 2. So like, what was that?
Well, I was scared.
Yeah.
Because at that point in my life when you met me, I was dead set on not having kids for myself. So I was scared, but I was like, I really liked you. And like, I don't know, obviously I felt pushed to like stick around and just see what happens. And when I ended up meeting Wesley, it was almost an accident. I was only like stopping by to say hi, and she had woken up from a nap. So I remember that. And I always say that I remember her sitting in her little high chair. She wasn't really talking yet, and she was just staring at me eating her chicken nuggets. And you were in the kitchen doing the dishes or something, and I was just awkwardly sitting on the sofa, and I felt like this kid could read, like could see my soul. And it was hard for me. Like it was like this, I had never experienced it. I mean, obviously I come from split like families, but I'd never been that step parent.
In that role, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, and we were still so fresh, right? So it was like an accident, but I mean, I rolled with it, and I didn't want to, I was already kind of awkward with kids, but then also with her, it felt like that extra pressure because I wanted to get it right, and I didn't want to scare her, and I was afraid to approach her and have her reject me. Like,
yeah, and I'm sure I didn't make it that easy because I know, like, especially in the beginning, like I didn't want Wesley to see us kissing. I didn't really want her to see us being
protective.
Yeah, I didn't want her to see us being affectionate. It was all, that aspect was all so new to me as well.
And I understood that. I totally understood that.
Yeah, so it was just, man, it's funny how life like just gives you these new experiences that you have to deal with. And, you know, we talk about this lots too. I think everybody's just trying to get by in life, and everybody's just trying to do good, I think. Well, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but I speak for myself. I truly want to be a good person. I know you want to be a good person. Like, that's why I love you so much. Like, we want to grow, right? And when it really just comes down to it, everybody's just trying to get through life, try and be happy. And
well, I found with her too, it was just, I just really wanted to make sure she liked me. Like, my biggest fear, because I knew it would be game over, right? Like, she came first. Like, there was no doubt in my mind. Like, I knew that. So I really wanted her to like me. So in the beginning, I would say like the first year of me knowing her, I would do like this dance a little bit. And especially in the beginning, like if you said Wesley was coming to stay with you, I gave you your space. I didn't even really text you. Like, I would just leave you alone and let you have your time with her. Because I didn't want to come across as pushy, but at the same time, I really wanted to be a part of, but I kind of let you take the lead. I didn't want to, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I felt so like almost insecure in the situation. And then each time I realized like to relax. I started to learn to relax. I still get a little bit uptight with not knowing my place, wanting to be respectful to her mother, knowing that I'm not her mother, and wanting her to know that I know that too. Like, for Wesley, like, I don't want her to think that I'm just trying to come in and sweep away. But the thing is too, Wesley is so young, and I find when they're at that age, they're so giving, like, for love. Like, it was just like, it blows my mind. Sometimes she'll say like, I love you, and it takes my breath away, because I'm like, oh, I love you too. Like,
well, lots of the times now she tells you more than she tells me. Yeah. I'm like, Wesley, like, I love you. Yeah. I tell her so many times, just trying to get her to say I love you back, Dad. But
yeah. And I think though too, I was gonna say is like, because of coming from split families and having step parents, and like on my mom's side, my stepdad has always been my stepdad. He hasn't gone anywhere. But on my dad's side, there was other women. But even I'm watching you with my stepdad, even though he's always there, like, there was parts where it was strained, and like, I know how I felt as a little kid, and like, I watched everything. Little kids, like, when you're little, especially your parents, and Wesley's very sensitive. Like, I was very sensitive too. Yeah. So I was so worried that I was going to, like, still am, that I'm going to somehow hurt her or cause her damage or make her feel unwanted or unloved, especially now that I have Zyla. So when quite often, like, if she sees me with Zyla, like, I'll be like, oh, you know how you talk to babies, like, I love you, Zyla, blah, blah, blah. She'll be like, do you love me too, though? Like, just those kind of things. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Like, making sure that she feels just as loved and just as important, which is hard, because anybody out there, I mean, although I love Wesley, that connection isn't as instant and as strong as it is naturally with Zyla. Yeah. And like, at first I was having a lot of guilt about that. And I asked my mom about that, and she said, I mean, I've talked to other women too about it, and they're like, it's normal, but it's our job. It's my job. I have a really big responsibility with that, and how I treat Wesley, and making sure she knows she is a part of this family, this household. Like, it's not her and then us. Like, yeah, that is so important. And that is so important to you. I know that, because you have the same background as me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, it's been really difficult for me, because we live away from Wesley. We live in a different town. And it's been probably, the hardest, if not one of the hardest things that I've had to do in my life. And I will never talk bad about Wesley's mom in front of her, or anything on here. Like, it's just absolutely just a no-fly zone for me. Like, there's nothing but good things said about Wesley's mom, because Wesley loves her mom. Man, she loves her mom to death, and she likes to talk about her mom, and I encourage that. There's not. But on the other hand, it's hard. When it's just hard, right?
What do you mean?
Co-parenting.
Yeah. Sharing
a kid when sometimes we don't have the same ideas. We don't have. It's just hard, and I know that other people can relate with that too, and maybe not everybody, because I know there is people who maybe just breeze by
And they
co-parenting.
become best friends and they're co-parenting together.
And kudos to you guys. Like, I mean, in an ideal world, it would just be amazing. But all I can really say is that it's hard, and really, we just want what's best for Wes, right? It's
and it's hard for me just watching you go through that, having to see that. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Yeah.
So yeah, we've made basically a big decision. We're actually going to be moving so that we're in the same town as Wesley. You know, we had a family talk, Katy and I, and just actually really Katy's kind of the one who, you're the one who pushed me to really actually like check myself, because you were kind of noticing behaviors in me.
I just couldn't stand it going another day longer, like watching you, like the effect. Even when she was with us, you were still like, yes, you were so happy to have her, but then you're already dreading the day that you had to take her home. Like that constant, like it was a constant for you. I don't know. I couldn't handle it. And especially now having Zyla, like, like I think that was a big part of you that you've been denying, being like, no, I'm okay on the island, like I'll make this my home.
Yeah.
Especially because you were already committed to me, and I love you for that. But yeah, your heart was definitely in Vernon.
Yeah. And you know, there's this thing with, I have a pretty good job on the island, and there's this thing that Katy and I are going through right now. Like, we're growing, and like, I believe in myself, I believe in you, and I want to do the things that I want. I don't want to be stuck at a job for my whole life, and then end up regretting later on not having those years with my oldest daughter, or, you know, hang on to a job for 30 years because it has a fucking pension. Like, that's not the kind of person I am. I want to take chances, take risks, and like have this adventure with you. Like, we're actually like looking at
I'm
this.
excited.
Like, I know, I'm stoked. Like, we get to just start our next chapter. Like, we really love doing these podcasts. I got my crypto business going on, and we have such like exciting things happening.
Well, my way of looking at it too, it's not like this like forever thing. Like, this is just another chapter in our lives. It doesn't have to be forever. Like, if it's something we have no idea what's going to happen, right? But I feel like we go there and wait until at least Wesley's like older. My hope is that like she wants to live with us eventually, and then who knows? Like, I know we always talk about too is eventually coming back to the island, but like really right now, like our main focus is Wesley, and like your first thing that you're met with is like on like immediately is like, what about your job? What about your job? But it's like, what about fucking Wesley?
Yeah.
And there's like, you keep saying like, there's so many jobs. There's always another job, but there's only one Wesley. And like, I don't understand that concept when it comes to a child. So when someone says that, I just don't understand.
Yeah. And it's such a old paradigm thinking that I think is passed down from our parents. And like I said, I've been actually getting annoyed with my dad because, he's brought it up. My biological dad has brought it up a couple times. He goes, "Oh, I'm really worried about you quitting your job, and this isn't the right move." And like, why? To me, it's just like.
And it's the thing too that's put into us too, because like the moment like we're feeling really good about it, and the moment that especially someone that we love and is close to us, like your father says that, it can like knock us down, because that's a part of us that, like, that doubts naturally. Like, I know for myself, like that's crossing my mind too, but I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything has always worked out for us, but it's so freaking hard when I don't know why our parents. I don't know. I guess it's people thinking they're protecting us, but really they're meeting us with their own fear.
They're projecting their fears onto us, and I'm at a point in my life I don't want none of that shit.
Yeah, and I believe that he means well.
Of course he means
well.
But
he's thinking this, and we're thinking this.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's however he was brought up and however he was raised in his own paradigms, right? But I'm just at a place in my life. I am practicing not giving a shit what other people think, practicing not worrying about judgments, being true to myself, and that's all that matters. Like, that's like, I don't know, just learning so much in the late 20s going into 30s, and I'm just so stoked for my 30s. Like, we've talked about this. Lots of people go, oh, 30 and look at 30 like it's something that's like a bad thing, or you're getting older and you're dirty 30s and whatever. But I'm like, man, 30s are going to be my prime. It's going to be an awesome decade.
We're just getting started.
Like, think about the things that we are going to accomplish in this next decade from 30 to 40. Man, this is going to be a power 10 years. Like, I am stoked for it.
Yeah, I'm still like mind blown by the fact like I never thought of myself getting 40. Like I never like as we get older, obviously it's like 10 years. I just never really thought of it. I just like we were talking about it the other day and we're like when we're 40, I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to be 40. Like I just never I remember being younger too and just being like, oh, I'm probably going to die young anyways, but it was so hard for me to grasp, and it's just I don't know. There was no other point to that. It's just like it blows my freaking mind that I'm going to be 40 one day. Like
Well, we got so much time to live. I know I like putting it into this perspective. Like, okay, I'm turning 30 in January. And then from 30 to 60, so my mom is 60 right now. So from 30 to 60, that's a whole nother lifetime of what I've lived right now. Like, that's a long time, man. Like, we got so much time left.
Yeah.
And I got, like, to me, being successful is having goals and working towards those goals.
Yeah.
Like, if you're working towards your dreams and your goals, like, to me, that is success.
Well, because it's so easy. It would be so easy for us because, trust me, like, we've hit the terror barrier where we're like, oh, shit, like, it's happening way faster. Because originally we're like, okay, we'll move there in, like, say, a year and a half. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, we'll wait till January. And then, boom, it's, like, happening within a month. And... like we could literally like it's scary. Like I'm like so excited, but this is the part like I feel like this is the point where people like whether I get like moving to Vernon isn't like this big majestic thing, but it's like these are the things right these moments, these crossroads where people get scared and then they stay where they are and then another 10 years goes by and then they end up regretting it. Like we could so easily do that because like you didn't sleep well last night and last night I actually had a point too where I woke up and was like, holy shit, like we've got all these things to do. Like I have no idea what my life is going to look like. But that's my brain, man. Like that's the mind that's just like freaking chattering. But like in here, like when we made that decision when we went to Vernon, not this time, but the last time, it was like in my bones. I was like, babe, we gotta go. We have got to move here. And like, that's how I know, like, and that's a calm feeling. When I go there, it feels so calm and it's like a knowing. It's like, okay. Yeah. It's all good. Like this brain just likes to rattle me up and get me all like, cause I'm an anxious being too, man. Like I just think like, you know.
But decision making is a strength, and I find that it's like you said, people, and I used to too. And again, I've been practicing. I
still do.
Not getting stuck in that fearful state and then backing down or whatever. But making a decision and sticking with it, that's like a powerhouse thing to be able to do. And it's exciting, and
I guess like why after we had already made the decision, it was like what are we waiting for then?
Yep.
What are we waiting for?
No more talking. It's just doing, right?
Yeah.
And
so I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm pumped.
Super stoked.
And that's the other thing why we kind of were like inspired to talk about like with step parenting and co-parenting, because it's going to be more hands-on. Like we're going to be able to we're going to be dropping Wesley to school, picking her up. Like that's freaking exciting, but it's also meaning that like even like me as my role is going to change a bit more. Like it's going to be more hands-on, and like that gives me a little bit of nerves, not because I don't want to and don't think I can handle it. I just want to make sure I get it right. Like I just want to have like this family life, and that creates like and I think that's a good thing. Like
for sure it's a good thing, but I think we also got to like
I'm curious though to know what your point of view is though, right? Like although I'm doing this, like what is it that like you're not the step parent, but like living in it and watching Wesley interact with me, and then like what is that experience? Because I don't know that experience.
I mean, it's different for me too, because I want to give you two the room to basically create your own relationship. And then I personally don't want to treat Wesley any different than Zyla in the house, because I know that can tend to happen when kids don't stay at the main house as often. And I want it to just be a safe zone for our whole family. But it's also learning for me, like we were talking about this, because I don't get to see Wesley that much currently. I get to see her every 2 months for about a week. And so when I have that time, I just want it to be like the most special time. And
it's like fun time.
I just want to soak it all up. So I'm a little bit more
lenient.
And she's 4.5, so it's not like she's doing anything crazy or anything. But I guess like Katie will notice she'll kind of like push me a little bit in, like to let her eat more treats or like clean up her stuff after her. And I don't know. It's hard because I don't want.
You feel guilty.
Yeah. I don't want her to have any bad times at Dad's house because she barely gets to see me. So then I don't want her to be left with that impression.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's going to be like definitely like a growing pains for us being there. Like once we move there full time, it's like that will change. That relationship will change. And there's going to be things like we've already discussed that, right? But I have we won't really know like until we get there and we start feeling it. We'll start figuring it out. You're going to know. You're not stupid, with her, right? And she's going to eventually realize, she can't do what she wants at Dad's house, right?
That's why, my buddies at work will think this is funny, but last time Wesley was here at our house, right away, I don't know, how,
where that got.
Where she got this in her head anyway, so right away she's walking around flicking her hair. I can do whatever I want at Dad's house. And I'm like, no, you can't. Stop saying that. And she'd, walk down the hall. I do whatever I want at Dad's house.
Yeah. So that's the thing. But you know what? I also get that a father and a daughter relationship is different. Because my relationship with my mom and the relationship with my dad was so different. Little girls to a daddy are just make them weak, right? And I get that. That's why I know that I don't know. I think it's important to have the two different end of the spectrums in the relationship for the parents, for the kids, because my mom, I lied, or not lie, I was jokingly said oh, she was a sergeant. She still took good care of us or whatever, but she made sure I wore my glasses. She made sure the chores were done. She made sure that homework was done, whatever. She made sure I was eating the vegetables, all that, that type of thing. Whereas my dad, when I went there, it was he really didn't say no to me, and it was more of a fun time, but we needed that. That was so important because my dad, I hate to say it too because it makes it sound like my mom didn't teach me how to play, but my dad really taught me how to play, get dirty, have fun, let go, and my mom taught me how to be responsible, and those are two very important things, right? So I feel not that you're not responsible, but I just think we'll figure it out. And I think for me, it's going to be a big lesson of just learning to kind of let go of some control and be well, no, it has to be this way, or whatever. It's going to be, especially with Zyla too, right? I have all these ideas, and I was noticing too with just the way with Wesley, sometimes I'm is that me or is that my mother coming out of my mouth? Or is that me or is that my father coming out of my mouth? Because I don't know. And I know that when I was younger, do I actually agree with that? So it's getting really honest and curious with myself. And then you for yourself is who do I want to be as a parent? What is actually important to me? Is it me or is it the programs that are in my head that are just running rampant? And I don't want to, it's interesting. Parenting it's cool, but it's a painful experience because you're growing so much.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of this episode, is that really everybody's just trying to do the best that they can. But sometimes it's hard to take a look at what we're doing and admit that we were doing wrong, right? So I think that's such a powerful thing to be able to do, is to acknowledge mistakes and really just own it. Because, man, once I started learning to own my part in shit, life got a lot better. A lot easier. And it just... It also made relationships a lot easier too. Yeah. If I can say, hey, this is how I fucked up. This is my part in this. I own that. I'm sorry. Usually the other person will often own their own part too.
Well, it diffuses it. Yeah. There's no argument then. It's oh, well, okay. Yeah. Well, then I can't be well, you, because you straight up there's no freaking argument. There's no fun in that anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, babe, I think it's getting late. We had to do a late episode tonight with the little one and work and everything. But, we got to make sure we're getting these out for you guys every Sunday.
And don't forget to check us out on not just our YouTube channel, but we also, on all the main podcasts. Apple, what are they all? Spotify, like all of them. Like if you're not sure, just look for us on your whatever platform you like to use for your podcast. Check us out and subscribe if you feel like so inclined. Like it, review it. Like it helps us so much. We're really wanting to build on this. This isn't just like a hobby. Like this is something that like I hope and believe that could really be something.
Yeah, and comment, you guys. Please comment.
I love hearing your comments.
Share. We want to hear what you guys have to say as well. So I hope you all have an awesome Sunday.
Yeah. Cheers.
Ciao.